facing the police every single day.
Say hi, Andy. I'm recording you.
Alright, you get the whole thing, right?
I got you.
Ocean City cops are not people.
Yes, they are. You know what's really criminal?
What's that?
Those knee-high socks.
I know, but that's what the brown shirts wore.
We will come for your family. Child victim threatened by cops for reporting the mayor raped him. Matt Agorist, May 24, 2022. Contrary to what many disinformation agents will lead you to believe, child sex abuse is not reserved to the deep state, Democratic Party, and Hollywood. Republicans are regularly caught committing the same acts, and as we've shown, there is no difference between a blue child rapist and a red one. What's more, while elite politicians are caught committing these child sex crimes like former Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, the scope of the problem is far greater. A potential reason this problem has reached epidemic proportions is the lack of punishment these monsters face after hurting children and law enforcement's role in failing to prosecute or even investigate the predators. Our archives are full of cops who escape accountability for preying on children. One could easily chalk this up to their blue privilege, and many times it is. But what about the cops who look the other way when their political superiors are doing the preying? As the Free Thought Project has previously reported, the problem of child sex trafficking goes all the way to the top in the UK as well. Sir Edward Heath, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, was found by the police chief to be a paedophile. Just like what happens in the US, his vile crimes against children were allegedly covered up by law enforcement for decades. One victim recently came forward to detail his chilling accusations of his treatment by police when he reported that he'd been abused by a convicted UK politician, John Humphrys. Humphrys is currently serving a 21-year sentence that was handed down last August for raping two young boys when he served as a primary school governor, a job similar to a school board superintendent in the States. His sentence should have come much sooner, according to a former victim of his, but police officers from the Devon and Cornwall police departments helped cover it up. Not only did these officers allegedly cover up the crimes of Humphrys, but they threatened the victim after he came forward. In a report from iNews.com, it was revealed that Humphrys was allowed to keep his seat as a Tory councillor despite his arrest for child rape offences for 3 years. The council knew of his charges, knew he was being investigated for further charges, yet allowed this child rapist to remain in their ranks for 3 more years. One of Humphrys' victims was first raped by the councilman in 1999. When he finally mustered up the courage to tell his parents, they immediately took him to the Exmouth Police Department, where he made a full signed statement. Instead of helping him, however, police harassed him. Then I heard nothing at all, except I was regularly harassed by local police officers afterwards. In 2005 they just said that the case had been dropped, the victim told iNews. When elite pedophile Jimmy Savile was exposed for raping children for decades, this victim decided it was time to go to the police once more. Older now and with a child on the way, the victim said he had enough of watching his abuser escape accountability. I'd met my partner, and when we found out she was pregnant, I thought, let's do something about it, especially as I was bringing a child into the world, he said. Unfortunately, police once again refused to act, and this time, they threatened him. I rang up to get the case reopened in 2012. All I got was a threatening phone call from a Tiverton officer. His near exact words were, "Humphrys is now mayor. He's getting on with his life. If you do anything or proceed with this in court, we will come for your friends and family." It would take 3 more years and other victims coming forward before police would act. In 2015, after many more years of mental stress, a knock came on the door at my mum's house, the victim says. It was a female police officer, and she told me someone else had come forward. I couldn't believe it. I'd not been believed twice, but the other victim was a lot older than me and maybe more credible. And there was a third and a fourth victim too. But still it took yet another 6 years for justice to be done. Indeed. Despite his arrest, Humphreys would remain on the public's payroll, keeping his job as a councilman and as a primary school governor. He was finally tried last year and sentenced in August, and his victims ultimately received closure. When asked about covering up the accusations of child rape by former victims of Humphreys, both the Devon and Cornwall police refused to comment.